From the deep, dark halls of hell, all the way up to the floating head of nowhere, we want to hear your nerd shout. And today, we're shouting about S.H.I.E.L.D. What's the what? Hey guys, Kevin Becker here with the rest of the team, and you're either nerdSHOUT or you're not. Let's hope you're nerdSHOUT.
What's up, guys? It's Demetris Hartman. Welcome back to nerdSHOUT.
Hey gang, it's Cirillo, and I've got a Terrigen crystal. If you're not with me, you're against me.
Hey everyone, it's Keyla Teixeira. It's really great to be back this week. I am so sad that Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is ending, so that's why you guys gotta let us know what we should do next here on nerdSHOUT. But today we're talking about S.H.I.E.L.D.
We are all here for the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. after show right here on the nerdSHOUT Network. All of us. We've got Demetri, we've got Mark, we've got me, we got Kayla.
Oh, you know our names.
You all just, I pretend not to know, but like an absentee father, I actually do. So, it was dark.
That's a good way to start it, especially with this whole mother thing.
That's exactly why I did it, not because I don't know what I'm saying most of the time.
Yeah.
Thank you guys to the penultimate episode of the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. After Show for Season 2, because next week is the two-part finale, the 2-hour finale.
Let's hope it's going to be phenomenal.
I think it will be, because this was a really, really great episode. There was a lot of big stuff that happened this episode. I want to start with a little bit of the smaller things and work our way towards the big reveal at the end. I want to talk about Reyna. Reyna has had I wanted to know if it's the most interesting, one of the most interesting arcs of the series. And we were checking the Twitter box. I'm already there. I'm looking at it. I just need a hit from the Twitter box.
Oh my God!
This is a really weird
episode. He gets
episode.
his fix from the Twitter box, guys. It's an addiction. You have to keep feeding it.
Alright, and our first question, comes from Winlinda at Winlinda, and she asks us, what are your thoughts on Reyna's endgame? And this got me thinking, because...
What is her endgame?
What is her endgame? I don't know, because there's a line that makes me really question, because it seems like she's doing what she's doing because she's actually scared and concerned and, you know, she wants to protect her people. And then she has the line when Gordon comes back from talking to Jiaying, and she says, where did you take Jiaying? I do hope she's not somewhere that's uncomfortable. And that felt like old Reyna to me. And I'm thinking, is she still being opportunistic? Doing things that, yes, she feels are for the best, but taking advantage of those things to put herself in a position of power? Or are we just reading it wrong because we know Reyna?
That's all. Those are really nice questions, Kevin. My question is, what is Jiaying's endgame?
Right, I have that question for later.
I think, but this is it. Like, in this episode, it showed where where each character's allegiances were.
Sure.
That Ward is clearly still with himself. And that Reyna is starting to feel this connection with the rest of the Inhumans there, with that community. She's becoming a part of that community. She fits in finally somewhere. Yeah. And yes, although that moment where she asks that question about where's Jiaying, it's kind of like a throwaway comment. It's kind of like sarcastic and ironic, very much what Reyna's character was in Season 1 and beginning of Season 2. I think that it was more to confuse us or to send us in the opposite direction, thinking that, Reyna is the bad guy in this situation, but in fact, her visions have turned her in some way, like make her understand the way that things are working. It's gonna be not beneficial because she cares so much about the Inhumans. I think that's why she didn't want Jiaying to hold the meeting.
Well, because she was seeing the visions. No, I think she really had them and she was seeing them. But Jiaying also knew that her plan was to do that. And so her saying like, "Oh no, don't do it," Jiaying's like, "That's my plan. So shut this bitch up."
Jiaying already knew what's going to happen.
Yeah, exactly.
She already had
and she was like, you are lying. Nobody trusts you. Blah. Like, so mean.
Okay, I'm going to say this.
But I didn't trust either of them. Like,
no, but like, this is kind of this season's motto, isn't it? Trust more so the characters you're familiar with so far rather than the ones that you don't know that well yet. That's kind of like where it's going.
Yeah.
And we spent so much. We've spent a lot more time with Gonzalez than we have with Jia-Ying now since her introduction. Because before that, Jia-Ying, like in the first few episodes that we saw her, she didn't speak. It wasn't until you know, she went to Afterlife. Skye went to Afterlife, but we had a connection with Gonzalez, and that's when like we'd gotten to know him more. He was a little more transparent than we actually thought he was. And that we actually should have, you know, laid our trust with Gonzalez rather than with Jia-Ying, because we knew more about him at this point. He was more
I
about
haven't super trusted Jia-Ying since she showed up. My issue with Jia-Ying from the beginning has been with her isolationist ideals, because I don't think they work. But as far as what you were saying, I didn't think about the fact that Reyna was seeing Jia-Ying's plan. Yeah. And I was like, because I'm going to say this.
But all she saw was death and destruction.
The last 2 weeks, you guys have proven to me that you are better at reading the evil people. That apparently I'm the captain of the Hope Squad. Which lantern is that?
The Runaway Hope Squad.
Don't even start.
Don't even.
Blue is
Am I a Blue Lantern?
Yeah.
Awesome.
Which is my favorite.
Yeah.
Too.
I'm a Blue Lantern.
And then Power's the will.
I see all the evil and I enjoy it, but I feel like I'm on the Hope side.
I'm on the Hope side, but apparently I am blinded.
Are you though, Mark?
Oh yeah.
Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Are you?
Oh yeah.
Okay, well here's the thing. I'm uncomfortable, so let's throw it to Keyla while I do go away.
Where did you take that?
I don't know. I don't.
Keyla, save us.
Oh, Reyna. She's just a try hard sometimes, really. This is the one thing about Reyna. I've always said when I talked about Reyna that Reyna's looking out for Reyna, and it still applies. But one thing that I have to mention is I don't think Reyna knows how to be a good guy. I think that she finally found people, her people, people that can somehow, some way start to like her, because her reputation in the real world is just terrible. She could have just started fresh, and she just immediately went to her old habits, trying to manipulate people, manipulate Gordon, I don't know why I call him Reader, and manipulating Jia-Ying, and manipulating Cal in a way still, and I just don't appreciate that she's still trying to use her old tricks. It's not going to work, Reyna. And it didn't work, because Jia-Ying was like, no, you're not going to talk to Gonzalez. I'm going to talk to Gonzalez, although that didn't turn out very well either. But Reyna, like I said, does not know how to be a good guy. Now that somebody like challenged her in a way, like calling her out on her bullshit, being like, I don't believe you, maybe this is just enough of a fire for Reyna to actually try to be a good guy, try to pick a side and not just be on Reyna's team. And especially with the season finale next week, I mean, I'm definitely thinking that that's probably going to be the case, where she's going to choose a side, and she's not going to be selfish, and she's going to choose a side, she's going to fight for it, she's going to be 100% there, and not somebody who loves manipulating people for her own personal gain. Or she might just take the situation to use her skills in manipulating people so she can end up on top if something happens to Jia-Ying or Gordon. Hopefully not, because really great characters. But it could go either way. It could go either way. But what is Reyna's endgame? Honestly, don't know yet. Like I said, it could be just she finally chooses a team, and she's not selfish and she's not looking out for herself. Or she uses whatever's going to happen in the season finale to really put herself on top again.
I like that. I hadn't thought about it. I was thinking about it while Keyla was saying it. I could see this season setting up that Reyna becomes the leader of Afterlife, and that's where she belongs. If she's not being all Reyna-y, which you guys have turned me around, that I could see that happening. I think that'd be kind of cool.
Well, I still think she has the Reyna-y stuff. I think that was great insight on Kayla's part. Like, really good character insight. Like, I think that's really accurate, too. Like, she doesn't know how to behave like a good guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I think it would be a great kind of metaphor for the place being called Afterlife. For her, this being her afterlife.
Yeah.
After being Reina, after being this bad person, that she transitions into somebody who's a leader that you never expected. She was more of a lackey that had her own mind. She liked to look like she'd being controlled, but behind everything, it looked like she was in charge of a lot of things. And this makes sense, that she can use her powers for something good, finally.
Yeah.
I think
that's a good character.
Yeah.
Speaking of people who've had interesting character arcs, Grant Ward.
I told you all of you.
You definitely told his ear right now.
Anybody answer the phone? Grant Ward. So I again was wrong. Apparently he was playing everybody at the end of that last episode
with Agent 30. That was the one moment that I agreed. Like, if it looks like he's playing, it's because of Agent 33, whether she's brainwashed or something.
And she's just Stockholm Syndrome. She just loves Grant Ward.
She loves some Grant Ward. Yeah.
And it may very well be a real relationship in that, you know, he loves her despite the fact that she feels that she's damaged and she hates herself. But she certainly plays it like Stockholm Syndrome. She certainly plays it real creepy.
And him, I don't trust anything. I think he's using her just like he uses everybody else.
I don't know.
It's hard to say.
I thought they were setting him up to be Taskmaster or to have his own spin-off. And at this point, I think I feel like they're getting rid of him.
They might just get rid of him as a character.
It felt like they were setting him up to be like...
he becomes a long-term villain.
He could become a long-term villain, which I would be cool with as well.
Yeah.
But it felt for a while like they were like, he's going to be that anti-hero that helps them out with the parts of the world that they can't go into because they're too good for their own, you know, whatever, that kind of thing. He's the dark member of the team. And now I just don't see him coming back.
Yeah. Well, the thing is that he still has Mockingbird, right? And the spin-off they're talking about, it might be Hunter and Mockingbird, all that kind of stuff. It feels to me like they might be setting him up, him and Agent 33, as the bad guys of the spin-off show.
Maybe.
Or just like an unconventional way of starting a new team for the spin-off show.
Well, we know now it's not another S.H.I.E.L.D.
Right. No, because
S.H.I.E.L.D. is not in James Olmos' vehicle.
Which is too bad. I would have watched that.
I was a little surprised.
Yeah, I would have watched Battleshield Galactica, which I think I've used before.
Interesting characters.
I'm sorry, I just realized that Koenig is a Cylon. Kayla, why don't you go ahead and weigh in? You've been probably Ward's biggest champion on our after show this entire time.
I'd say.
And we're all pretty middle ground. And
I'm not.
You're on the other side of the spectrum.
We're pretty middle ground. As long as it's an interesting character, I'm fine with it.
Oh, yeah, no, I mean, I like him better as a villain, yeah. I always thought he was a villain. I never believed him as being good,
Yeah, I was kind of interested in that Taskmaster.
And when he was good, when everybody thought he was good, I was like, you are so boring. Kayla, thoughts?
Yes, Kayla, what do you think? Do you want Taskmaster like me? Do you want
Hellfire like other people?
Do you want supervillain like Mark? What do you want?
I really love Ward's character. I've always been one that's rooting for his character here in the after show, and because I just think he's such a great dynamic character, and so many things can happen with his character, so many possibilities. There's just so much you can do with his character in the show, and I feel like nothing has happened really at this second half of the season with him. I feel like Brett Dalton, Ward, has transitioned from a series regular to a guest star. And it's quite irritating because his character has not been done justice on the show whatsoever. I was looking forward to possibly getting like a Ward redemption arc. I didn't want the show to just like automatically label him as a villain. In the second half of the season, I was really looking forward to possibly him fixing his ties with the team and just really and not be a bad guy. And he shot Bobby in the forehead at this current episode. It just confuses me because I'm hoping it's not like he's not gonna. I'm hoping he doesn't do something evil, but a lot of people probably think that it's gonna be something bad or evil, and that's quite irritating because I want my full Ward redemption arc to happen already on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. But I just don't want them to be... I don't want Ward to be labeled as just a villain because he's just so much more than that. So I'm looking forward to the season finale. It's going to be really, really good. Overall, Hashtag not happy with what they did with Ward this season. I'm definitely not happy, and I hope Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D, the people who are behind it, you know who you are, to you know who you are, to fix his character up and give him justice, because I'm not happy. Hashtag not happy.
We have a new hashtag. Always new hashtags. I don't know. I don't know if they're doing a bad thing with Ward. We don't know where their story's going. So
right, but the thing is, we've just had like an entire season to kind of flesh that out, and they haven't really done much with him. Like he's had a lot of interesting moments, but no moments that we've seen who he's actually becoming. And I just would like to see more of Ward. Yeah,
if they're going to turn him into something else, we need to have more of him. That is absolutely certain. I see why they didn't, because he hasn't fit into the main story. He's come in when he's been necessary. Yeah. And I think one of the things that they learned from last season was that don't crowd it with a bunch of extra stuff.
Right.
And
it's just they have him
as characters that you don't have time
regular.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And right now he's basically a guest star.
Yeah.
But
it is what it is.
Yeah. I'm very interested to see what happens with him in this finale. Yeah. Because we could see him come back, and then next season is a lot of him dealing with things.
Right. Will he help at all anything with Afterlife? What's going on? Is there going to be a war between S.H.I.E.L.D. and the Inhumans?
Let's talk about the possible Inhuman S.H.I.E.L.D. war.
Yes.
So the end of the episode, Jia-Ying drops that bomb.
That bomb. Damn.
That kills Gonzalez, and
it's an artificially created
Terrigen crystal,
which I really like. Mm-hmm. I really like that.
It definitely has taken what was originally presented as a peace-loving commune type thing
to another level.
To a militia level. We're ready when that bell calls. And we're gonna go back to Twitter box.
I don't know if they're ready, but yeah. Let's read the question, and
it was like a weird thing too, where I was like, oh my god, I thought S.H.I.E.L.D. was overreacting, being like they're dangerous, blah, 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 and then all of a sudden, they are.
They are.
Because
actually proven right.
This is an interesting question because it can base how we talk about what they're doing. Mm-hmm. Fantasia-wise at Fantasia-wise1 asks us, do you think Jia-Ying would have tried to kill Coulson if he was the one to attend? I feel like she and Cal don't like him. Obviously, Cal doesn't. But we saw the progression of that conversation. Here's the gift. Here's the necklace that you want to give your daughter back.
Yeah, he gave her back.
Was an amazing thing.
Beautiful gesture.
And then it seemed to turn the minute he said, "You and I both have scars," and it made the switch for her. And I wonder if
she said, "I have a gift for you." It mostly came out after he said that he wants to index the people.
Yeah, because she mentioned that as she was approaching the crystal, too.
Yeah,
true. Okay.
Yeah. That's essentially the last thing that he says.
So do you think she would have killed... Was it always her plan to kill whoever was coming from S.H.I.E.L.D.? Or when she saw Gonzalez and heard what they were doing, did she go that route?
We don't know. All we know is that what we saw that happened, we can theorize as to maybe she could have killed Coulson. I think that she would have, because I think her true colors just came out. Mm. Plus, she would have had more of a reason to kill him because she wants her daughter closer to her, so getting rid of him would have made sense.
I don't think that the decision was made in the meeting.
Okay.
Because she was trying, the way I read it was she was trying to shut up Raina and get Raina and get people to not believe Raina. She had this plan from the beginning, exactly.
Yeah,
which is very disturbing that this was her end goal.
Yeah, well, what is her deal?
That's
really interesting.
It is a really interesting thing because we've got this super just leave me alone view that is justified because she was cut open and experimented on.
Right.
So I can't blame her for not liking humans.
Right.
I don't at all.
But it makes more sense for her to hate not liking Hydra because she fell in love with somebody who was a human.
Yeah.
That's the thing, that she learned what love is like for humanity. So she shouldn't have this, you know, reprehension towards humanity as a
Fair.
whole.
She probably is against S.H.I.E.L.D/Hydra.
Yeah, it's just, I think that maybe it's the experimentation that Cal did on her. Maybe he used some of his serum liquid that he uses to turn into Mr. Hyde on her that also made her really twisted. Or maybe it's just that they're replacing Whitehall with Jia-Ying as the main guy, the main bad guy for this series. Who knows? Essentially, what I think is that her character made this very, very sudden twist. Essentially, she's declaring war on S.H.I.E.L.D., she's declaring war on humanity. What if the Kree artifact that they have is a Terrigen bomb? Or at least they can repurpose it. If it's made to destroy Inhumans, and since they've been able to repurpose old crystals that have been destroyed into giving life again, what if they can repurpose this weapon against a human to turn into a Terrigen bomb and essentially wipe out the human race? Bring more Inhumans to the fold. What if that's her end goal?
That would be interesting because that opens up a lot of cool stuff for next season if they are able to stop the destructive aspect of it, but still, much like the comic event Inhumanity that happened recently, opens up to a bunch of Inhumans popping up. So now Coulson and his team have a lot more to deal with.
Yeah, powered people that are both good and bad, like Gonzalez said.
Yeah. What do you think, Mark? You're very pensive right now.
Well, I don't know, because I was thinking about all that stuff with, how do you say her name?
Jia-Ying.
Jia-Ying. I don't know why I'm having trouble with that.
I have trouble with everybody else's name, so...
Like, because, I mean, yeah, I just feel like it could go anywhere. I mean, we're pretty sure that actually is Jia-Ying, and it's not somebody else with, like, technology pretending to be her, right?
Be,
like,
maybe.
I don't know. It's just,
I think not, with one episode really left.
Right, exactly. Yeah, but it's her. And it's like, yeah, and she could regenerate and stuff. So I don't know. I mean, I just feel like
it would be a bit of a cop-out if they proved it to be somebody else as well. But who knows?
And then there's also the question of what is Cal like? Are Cal and her together?
Because I was curious about
his juice. He juiced up.
Yeah, he took it on board the plane. So maybe.
And it was pretty empty too. So he has taken it recently.
And what are her real feelings about Jack? Because then she was about Cal. Because since she was basically lying or hiding most things this entire time.
Because it seems
I wonder like what that is. Because she is all about the pure race.
Yeah.
Like and has been like, no, you're genetically modified. You're not like us. And like and making it very clear. No, like you inserted serum. Like you have alien serum in your blood, but you're not us. You know.
Yeah.
Kind of thing. Like so, Coulson and Cal are not one of them.
Yeah, I think they play it out together.
Thinks,
I think that, you know, they work
Cal was part of it.
That maybe it was just the self-sacrifice, and she saw that she could use that as well to put him in S.H.I.E.L.D. and have him.
Oh yeah, because I mean he was definitely part of her plan. Now you're right.
Yeah, he's and we're definitely gonna see him as Mr. Hyde.
I'm excited.
Like I'm really excited for that. That's gonna be sick. But
he had some funny things in this one too, and I was wishing I was watching it with you.
I'll rip her spine out.
Too much? That table looked old. Was that old? Kayla, before we just sit here and quote Kyle MacLachlan for the rest of the night, what do you think about Jia-Ying and her endgame in the Inhuman S.H.I.E.L.D. war?
Yes.
Talk about a freaking twist. When that happened at the end of the episode with Jia-Ying and Gonzalez, I was legitimately surprised. I was not expecting that to happen. The conversation completely took a 180 though. When Gonzalez made his reference about scars and Jia-Ying with her scars and him with his, but not literally. That you kind of saw the direction of the conversation changing and the mood really. And I was not expecting Jia-Ying to do what she did. What's Jia-Ying's endgame? I have no idea. A couple possibilities in my head. I mean, what if it's not? What if the elder council, I believe that's what it is behind her decision of causing a war with S.H.I.E.L.D. or purposely causing a war with S.H.I.E.L.D. What if Cal is the mastermind behind it all? Because Jia-Ying has never really showed anger. She's always been very peaceful, very neutral in stance and opinion, and for the fact that she really snapped very quickly, it just possible theory in my mind that Cal has some type of manipulation over what just happened, purely for the fact that they did find like vials of his like Mr. Hyde serum on him, and they weren't completely full. So maybe I'm just like thinking really, really far out there with my theories and stuff. But like, what if Cal sort of kind of injected Jiaying with that serum, or like gave her a little bit that caused her to be angry or be like have anger in her, because Jiaying is just not like, I didn't see her ever be an evil person, so it just was really random to me. Or it was completely planned from her. That's what she wanted. She wanted there to be a war against S.H.I.E.L.D. Maybe Jiaying thought it was inevitable, and she thought the war with S.H.I.E.L.D. was inevitable, and that it would be better off for the Inhumans to come out on a better light from it, saying that S.H.I.E.L.D. attacked them and not them attacking S.H.I.E.L.D. So maybe it was just, this was her plan all along, she just wanted to get ahead of the war that has just started, that I'm really, really excited to see.
Yeah, that bothered me a little bit too, that it was so out of the blue.
Yeah,
there
it
were
was
very
too sudden.
few. But when I started to suspect was actually when they all were in Reina's room and she was just like, nobody trusts you. Nobody you've ever known trusts you. And then I was like, I saw like Jai just looked dark there.
Yeah. I don't know. I want to go back and watch the last several episodes to see if there are any clues to it, because we were so accepting of her when she happened that I wonder if they were leading questions that she asked that we just totally missed.
Right.
Maybe
because she's a very suspicious character anyway.
Yeah,
like she's
very
distrustful
off,
of everybody. So yeah.
The one thing I hope that they stick with is that it's Jiaying's choice. That no one has been controlling her. That there's nothing else involved with her choice,
and that she has a true valid reason for
because if they throw it away like that, it's gonna be a cop out, and I'd be really pissed off at the show for doing that, because it's like, do it and then reveal her motivation. Let it end either in the next 2 episodes, although I think that would be a little too soon to introduce a new villain at the penultimate
I just feel
episode.
so bad for Skye. I'm like, oh, both your parents are mad evil geniuses. Yeah.
She's fucked up. She's been looking for these her parents for so long, and they just turn out to both be monsters. Yeah.
Speaking of Skye, brings us to our last question that I want to ask you guys. We got this question from many of you. Unfortunately, we can't read all of them because we don't have the space for all of the questions.
The Twitter box is only so
we could just record 2-hour videos, but not everyone's going to watch that.
So this one comes to us from @Candace Whipple, and Candace asks, what do you think Skye will do if she finds out what her mom did? It's the big question.
Start an earthquake.
That's a big one.
Who's she going to fight with? Because she says in this episode...
Does she destroy Afterlife? Does she destroy S.H.I.E.L.D. and then go on the run?
Does she fight S.H.I.E.L.D. when she knows that S.H.I.E.L.D. was trying to do the right thing, majoritively, that Coulson was? Does she destroy and punish Afterlife when this is probably just Jiaying's reaction versus something from everybody? This is going to be a real tough 2 hours for her. I think she's going to end up with S.H.I.E.L.D.
Oh yeah,
I hope she ends up with S.H.I.E.L.D.
Maybe she ends up taking out Jiaying and becoming the leader of the Inhumans herself. And that would be the spin-off series.
That would be great. I don't think she'll become. I don't think she'll become the leader. I think that.
Reina, if that happens, if something along that.
She's more suited at this point with the powers that she has.
She really wants to be the leader of something.
Gordon did betray her in this episode. True. He did turn on her.
But Gordon is also loyal.
He is.
He will follow who is in charge.
That's true. Which is really interesting. That Jiaying ended up using Gordon. She used her own people in this case.
Yeah.
Which is, it's kind of a terrifying notion to see this come out of a
character. Without their knowledge, we think.
Yeah.
We're pretty sure.
I'm fairly certain that this is a Jiaying reaction, not an Inhuman reaction.
Right. And I think that's how, because of all this stuff that's happened, it's going to be very easy for Jiaying to manipulate Skye, but then eventually, the truth will be able to, pour out, out of the cracks, essentially, of Jia Ying's story, perhaps, or something like that. Because Gonzalez, he was sitting down when he died. I mean, yeah, he might have shot her like that, but his hand is busted.
That's true. If she didn't,
it's
like completely vaporized.
Yeah, she didn't
go and knock it around.
Yeah, exactly.
He's in the seat, with his hand broken off.
Yeah, how did she reach out, get the crystal? Like her story is probably going to be a little flimsy, but Skye is going to support it so much, and obviously like the kind of idea that she has of Gonzalez as well, and the language that was shared between her and May before the whole incident happened. It leads me to believe that Jia Ying is going to have control over Skye, turn her against S.H.I.E.L.D. Then I think Skye will protect S.H.I.E.L.D. because she will have revealed Jia Ying's plans, but the damage will be done.
And I wonder how much Raina actually did see, like in her vision, like how much she knew. Because there's one moment when they're like, "We're not going to listen to you," that she's directly looking at Jia Ying and being like, "You can't do this. Like, don't do this."
Yes.
And so maybe she did. Know more specifics.
Yeah, I think she'd seen it. I mean, she'd seen pretty much the entire Age of Ultron. In this case, when they have that comment.
She saw death and destruction.
No, because Gordon does say to her that like you helped save all these people in Sokovia and all that kind of stuff, which is kind of
they also thanked Coulson for that, and I'm like, Coulson, we never saw like the S.H.I.E.L.D. ship showed up, but with. That was all very confusing.
Also, here's
sorry if you haven't seen it yet.
Here's another thing. Well, like hopefully people have seen the links. It's a bit of a spoiler, but like at this point, we are also trying to see the connection between Age of Ultron because it carries in. I mean, they explained the helicarrier. The reason why there's a helicarrier in the Age of Ultron is because of the very beginning of this film or this episode, and that's what the Theta Protocol was.
Right.
What pisses me off is that we've been theorizing about what the Theta Protocol is.
And then it doesn't really have anything to do with the series, it's more has to do with the Avengers.
No, and that's something that disappointed me ultimately about this season of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. It's that I'm scared that Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is forever going to be a slave to the Marvel Cinematic Universe, to what happens in the big screen. Yeah. But they're trying to do this whole thing with Inhumans, right? They're like expanding their story through the TV show, which is awesome because they're taking that liberty. But I'm scared that by the time we get to the Inhumans movie, all this stuff might not matter at all. Everything that we followed through the TV show. Right. We didn't have a reveal of Theta Protocol. Like, it was such a big build-up for Theta Protocol up until Age of Ultron, and then it was pretty much the throwaway. Oh yeah, it was a helicarrier. It was literally to explain, the big-ass plot hole of a helicarrier showing up out of nowhere in Age of Ultron.
Which is still kind of a plot hole because it's like, oh, okay, so Nick Fury is
back and leader of S.H.I.E.L.D.
and that's like not explained.
That's a comment I made
but on the show, they haven't Nick Fury hasn't reintegrated with S.H.I.E.L.D. yet.
Right, he's just
back. So that's more my issue.
That I think is just really weird. It seems like
I think that they've just kind of accepted that Fury's alive without. They're just kind of like Fury's alive. Well, he does that. It's been 2 years. It just seems like that.
He still has a hand.
Fix our tractor, sure. Wait a minute.
This is like really convenient.
But I mean the agents in this episode. It started with Theta Protocol was a helicarrier, and Nick Fury's still alive. Okie doke.
Right.
All right.
Yeah, that's true. But also in the movie, I was just like everybody just was like, oh, okay.
Yeah. I mean, hopefully this season will wrap up really nicely and lay beautiful seeds as to what's going to happen in season 3 of the show.
Kayla, who do you think Skye is going to end up siding with?
If I had to choose who I think Skye is going to fight with, I'm thinking possibly, I think she's going to go with the Inhumans because she hasn't really had a deep falling out with S.H.I.E.L.D. yet or Coulson. She can do no wrong in Coulson's eyes, really. In my opinion, ever since the first season when she was caught hacking with she's caught saving her hacker friend, boyfriend or guy she was dating. I don't freaking have no idea. Ever since that happened, I feel like she can do no wrong by Coulson or S.H.I.E.L.D. His Coulson is S.H.I.E.L.D. in a way, so she can do no wrong by him. So I would really like to see, me personally, I think her fighting along with the Inhumans against S.H.I.E.L.D. because I want to see that strong divide. something that will definitely take her out of place amongst the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Ha ha ha. I did not plan that. It just happened. So I really hope that happens, because that could make for a really good start up for like season 3 if when season 3 starts next year, if it gets renewed, because we haven't got any confirmation if Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. got renewed or not. But I really would like to see her fight alongside the Inhumans, and if she fights alongside S.H.I.E.L.D., I still think and really hope that she's going to take some time away from S.H.I.E.L.D. And just go on her own, go rogue on her own, maybe join Ward and Agent 33, wherever they're going, or just join Ward and then we can finally get Skye Ward. I'm waiting for it. Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., I'm waiting for it. But, yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Skye's going to fight with the Inhumans in the season finale next week.
So there was a lot of stuff in this episode that was very, very interesting, that I'm interested to see how it plays out. The May and Coulson relationship and how that's dealing. Yeah. Him finding out that I didn't realize that he didn't know she put the girl down in Bahrain.
Yeah, I was surprised by that too.
So I want to see when we get into this fight next week. And here's what I want to ask you guys to tell us about. When this inevitable fight happens next week that we're going to get, how do you think allegiances are going to go? Is May going to follow Coulson like she always does? Who's Skye going to fight with?
Which side
what are Fitzsimmons going to do? Mac just quit. Is he going to come back because he hates alien things? Like, what's going to happen? Are we going to, when season 3 comes back, are we going to have a council, or are we going to be back to the team that we know?
Or are we even going to have this S.H.I.E.L.D. team anymore?
Yeah. So anyway, we want to know what you guys are thinking about it. So make sure you tweet us using that hashtag nerdSHOUT. You can right now go on down and you can hit that like button that's under here. You can hit that subscribe button. Put some comments so we can keep this conversation going.
Yeah,
share the video.
On the Twitter
bar. On the Twitter. Thank you guys very, very much. We want to give some shout outs to our friends over at S.H.I.E.L.D. Radio, at S.H.I.E.L.D. Radio on Twitter, or helicarrierpodcast.com. Our friends over at Pop Cults. They have been very, very awesome. They have been sharing our stuff. They are a really great site to get some great news and reviews and info that's coming out. Yeah. So please check them out.
Follow them and everything.
Yeah, there's all kinds of great stuff going on out there. Let's build this community so that we can all continue talking about these really, really great things. And guys, we'll see you next week for the final 2-part episode of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Season 2. Oh, what would we want to hear, guys? I feel like we'd want to hear your nerd shout! From the deepest...
Deepest.
I have a list.
Deepest.
And they dock it.